Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. It is that time again, which happens every 6 months because that's how the IPL happens now. We have it every 6 months, and that's great because we had one last September, we had one in April, we have one now, then we'll have another one in 6 months. It's great. I love it. I have absolutely no complaints. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Joining me today on Cricbuzz Live, I have Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. Harsha Bhogle, who of course is in prison. Stop the press now! It's called institutional quarantine.
Say quarantine. Quarantine is good enough. Institutional quarantine seems like I'm in some,
Harsha's been institutionalized.
I absolutely. And see, quarantine, actually, he's well off because originally quarantine meant 40 days. The word literally means 40 days. So if he's not in for 40 days, if they allow him out after 7 days, he should consider himself lucky.
They allow him out. Well, if you, Mr. Bhogle, on good behavior, how soon can you get out?
Parole.
On good behavior, today's day 2. So after today, 4 more days.
Sir, you are so well behaved. You should be out on day 1 only. But anyway, rules are rules. You are in Abu Dhabi, of course. Of course, we'll be hearing your Madhur Dhwani on the Abu Dhabi games, of course. And we, of course, will all be here on Cricbuzz Live right through the tournament. So right now, what we have to do is very simple. But this is a revision. Okay? Because abhi kya hai ke the tournament stopped halfway. And now the other half has to happen. But all of you who are watching have all forgotten what happened in the first half. No, you have. But don't worry. We have Professor Bhattacharya. We have class topper Harsha Bhogle. And you have me. I don't know what I'm doing here. But anyway, because, comedy works with rules of 3. So we are here to revise what has happened in the first half. So let us ask the first row student, Mr. Harsha Bhogle, who is leading in the points table, sir?
There it is. Delhi is leading. Chennai is 2nd. Bangalore is 3rd. Mumbai is 4th. Rajasthan is 5th. Punjab is 6th. And Hyderabad is 8th.
Thank you, Harsha. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At least this time we have started off with civility.
Yeah, he's just
no KKR announced. Yeah, Kolkata not announced.
Just not Kolkata announced. But there you go. That's what it is, and that's where it stopped. Everybody had reached the halfway stage, and Delhi and Punjab were the 2 teams who had played one more than the halfway stage. Remember, there are 14 games that are played, of course, before the playoffs begin. Delhi in the lead, but Chennai can, of course, play the one game that they're playing, the first game against Mumbai, and sit pretty with Delhi at 12. Bangalore is in 3rd position, and I have a feeling that that's why the tournament stopped halfway, Joy, because the universe couldn't believe that Bangalore was doing. Oh, geez, I'm going to get trolled now. I'm going to get trolled hard now.
Yeah. You're going to get trolled really hard. But you know what? I just want to tell you that I haven't missed the IPL at all. I know it's happened a long time back. It's just happened 130. It's been 137 days, 19 hours, 35 minutes, and 27 seconds and counting that we saw the last match. I want the IPL back. 30, I want the tournament back.
31, 32, 33, 34. I'll keep going till the first game begins. How's that for really engaging video content, right? Just a guy sitting there being a clock. 38, 39. But yes, of course.
Like Harsha, the population clock or a birth rate clock or something.
Yeah, that goes much faster
6
than
more
this.
Babies born. Sorry, another 38 babies born. Sorry, another 220,000.
Of course, goes much faster than that. Of course, people extremely disappointed that it stopped halfway, but safety more important. And had a chat with Robin Uttappa the other day as well, talking about the Chennai camp, but they were really worried because there was a few positive cases there. He was talking about that. Good to see that, it stopped, that player safety was taken first. And now I'm guessing that the bio bubble that is happening in UAE, and you are there, perhaps you can tell us whatever whispers you've heard, is absolutely like impregnable, right?
I've been in a few now. I feel like I'm a character in Gulzar's poetry at the moment. Pani ke ye bulbule hain, ye bulbulon mein ye hota hai, wo hota hai, whatever. But the bubble that we saw in, where was it? Last September. Yeah, every 6 weeks. Yeah, last September. Yeah. The bubble we saw last September was the most stringent, and I never once worried about there being a breach in the bubble. I know there were no spectators, all that was fine, but never worried once about there being a breach in a bubble. We were all wearing trackers on us to the extent that there was a software glitch, and I was once called up and asked to pay a fine saying I'm on the road to Dubai when I was having coffee in my room in Abu Dhabi. That was the only glitch. But otherwise, I felt very safe. I think one of the lessons in recent times, both from the Tour of England, from the first IPL, from the PSL, is that you cannot compromise on the sanctity, on the security of that bubble. Don't leave it to individuals. Just tell people, sorry guys, I know it's not easy, but this is what it is. You want to come to the IPL, this is how it's going to be. And it has to be absolutely stringent with no two ways about it.
You've just come out. I just want to ask you the question about, this bio bubble fatigue, because you've just come out of one. You were in the Sony bio bubble when the test series was happening. And that actually got cut short because it was a 4-test series. It was a 4-test series, right? It was 4 tests.
We don't yet know.
Yeah. So no, but in all, seriously, like there was that, and you would have gone into this, and then into the World Cup one. There, fatigue is a thing, isn't it?
It is, and there's absolutely no denying it. Every time you start to think, there I go into a bubble again, there's just one test to do, because it's not easy. Let me be very honest, it's not easy. You always do a little test that I always do and say life could have been much worse. So let me be happy for what I have. What's going to happen to me at the end of the bubble? I'm going to go and watch great cricket again. So that is fantastic. Keep watching great cricket. For a lot of people who come out of the bubble, it's not that easy. So I found that it's not really fair to complain. It's not. I mean, there were people in England who'd been who had families with them. I could understand that they were worried about getting COVID, but England was a separate story. I mean, there was what they called a controlled environment in England. Not a bubble, but a controlled environment, meaning teams were allowed to go into open spaces, no gathering in closed spaces, and they were allowed to go into restaurants which only admitted people who were double vaccinated. So there was a list given to them. So the environment was controlled. It wasn't that you could do whatever you wanted, but there was relative freedom. It won't be like that here at the IPL. It'll be very strict. I mean, even when I finish my quarantine, I will get out of my room. I might go for a little walk in a controlled area that they've given us, go to the ground, come back to them. That's it.
Joy, you spend so much time with the team. How important is that leisure time, the downtime, the fact that they can, get into a rickshaw and go to a restaurant and explore the city and stuff? How important is it for just kind of, mental
rickshaw.
Balance and well-being?
Rickshaw? Which player goes in rickshaw now?
Sir, in fact, Ryan Tendushkade told me, KKR player, that him and Pat Cummins and Ewan Morgan went in Ranchi to a restaurant in what he called a tuk-tuk.
Yeah. And not only in Ranchi, I took them once in Hyderabad also. I took them to the Golconda Fort, and on the way back, we took a rickshaw, or as they call it, a tuk-tuk. No, I think those experiences are fantastic.
Golconda se rickshaw mein aaye to you will miss the next game.
No, sir, not Golconda. Sorry,
you're talking to Hyderabad GPS. You can't mess around with him.
What am I doing? Exactly. But no, seriously, I think it's important, but it's certainly not as important. And the amount of space, once they get out of their rooms, the amount of space they have is in terms of common rooms, places, gyms that they can go to and all that, there's enough out there. I mean, if you're complaining, again, as Harsha would say, look at the difference between playing and not playing. And you'd say that, you know what, this is not so bad at all. It's not so bad.
Delhi, of course, is on top. Let's have a look at the points table once again, just to refresh that. There's Delhi, of course, sitting on top, played 8 games. They won 6, lost 2. Chennai's also lost 2. Bangalore's lost 2. Mumbai, of course, slow starters, always traditionally, have won 4 and lost 3. And there are the 4 teams in trouble. And why we're saying in trouble is because for Rajasthan, some of their key players are missing. We'll get to them in a second. Let's just start from the top, because that's how life is, yes? We're going to start with the Delhi team and see what are the changes that are happening there. Of course, one big change, which is Chris Vokes, is not coming. And in place of Chris Vokes, they have Ben Duocius. And of course, Anrique Nokia comes back into the team. Harsha, they look settled. They look like a settled team. And I know it's easy to say because they're on top of the table. But even with Chris Vokes not coming, great player, great all-rounder, even with him not coming, they look pretty settled.
I don't think. I mean, in all fairness, yes, Chris Wokes would have been an option, but I don't think they'll miss him too much. Much like some of the great auctions, CSK had a fantastic first auction. I think the last auction, Delhi Capitals did such a good job that they've ensured they've got enough. I actually think they're stronger today than they were at that point, simply because Shreyas Iyer comes back. Because Shreyas Iyer comes back, they can now play Shikhar Dhawan, Prithvi Shaw, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, then play Shimron Hetmeyer and Marcus Stoinis. So that opens up one overseas slot that Steve Smith had to occupy, and that allows them to reunite Rabada and Nokia in conditions they did so well in when the IPL was last played here. So it actually, I think, makes them stronger, because then they've got Akshar, Ashwin, Rabada, Nokia, and Avesh Khan. Hopefully Avesh Khan has put aside the injury and is fully fit. So they've got 5 proper bowlers with Marcus Stoinis. Then they'll bat down to 7-8. I actually think the return of Shreyas Iyer, I only hope he's happy, because he had an injury and he lost quite a lot, including the captaincy of the side, which is a tad unfair, I think. But I actually think that Delhi Capitals now are stronger than they were in the first half of the IPL.
Joy, it's really strange, because usually you would see that if the captain's coming back from injury, he is given the captaincy. So find that just a little odd.
No, I fully agree with you. And what I'm surprised is this is not the Australian way. The Australian way is that if a player gets out injured, and if Brad Hodge comes in and scores even a double century, the next time that the players, if Mark was fit again, he comes right back into the side. The Australian rule is very simple. You get your chance. When the guy is done, the guy comes back. So I'm completely surprised, because if Ricky Ponting is running the team on those lines, that's what they look at. The other thing I want to say is that this is not a normal year. This is a pre-auction year. Okay, Shreyas Iyer is something that I think DC has invested in, Delhi has invested in long term. And for them not to say that, I'm not giving you a chance to finish this, let Rishabh finish this. I would be telling Shreyas that definitely we are going to take you in. We see you as our captain for the next 4 or 5 years. And that's that little ambiguity which I wouldn't have liked. Having said that, Delhi has done so many things right that, it's difficult to fault them. One other thing I want to say, happy birthday to Ashwin. And I think he got a very early birthday present, because Maiva Duma of Cameroon versus Uganda got 4 runouts. 4 runouts. Every time she won the batter once, went out of the crease, out. 4 times she did it, 4 runouts. And in one match, 4 people falling to the same trick. I cannot believe. So her analysis is 1 for 32 and 4 runouts. So I said that has to be Ashwin's early birthday present. Somebody is doing it in the ICC.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember that program, America's Dumbest Criminals?
Yeah.
The non-strikers were like that.
They kept going 4 times, it can happen once. I mean, I don't believe it.
There was interesting clips to watch. Obviously, he's got another birthday present that he's part of the T20 team for the World Cup as well. And I'm sure we'll talk enough about that during the IPL, because it's absurd. For 4 years, he's not been part of the white ball plans, and suddenly he's here. But he's very important to the Delhi plans. And Harsha, talking about Pant as captain, he's got a half a dozen captains with him in that 11.
All of them older than him.
Yeah,
all of them. It must be a bit like Tiger Patowdy becoming captain of India and suddenly discovering, oh, hang on, I'm the youngest guy around. But there's a swagger about Rishabh Pant. I don't think it worries him. I know he desperately wanted to be captain. I'll be very keen to see the dynamics between him and Shreyas Iyer, because if Shreyas really valued the captaincy, then someone will have to sort of have a word in between there. But this is Rishabh Pant's test, because Rishabh Pant wants to be captain. Rishabh Pant wants to be captain of Delhi Capitals post the auction. He will be retained. So this will be a nice little test for him. And what better way to start being captain than to get one of the best settled teams, one of the 2 best organized teams at this stage in the tournament. So it should be easy for him. It's just a question of sorting out a little bit. Shreyas Iyer 3, Hetmeyer 4, Pant 5, or Pant 4, Hetmeyer 5. These are very, very small issues. He's got 20, 22, 23 overs to play with in every single game. He's even got Amit Mishra to go to. We are talking about Ashwin and Akshar. He's got Amit Mishra to go to if required. Suppose there's a Turner one day, instead of Avesh Khan, you can play Amit Mishra. He's got Lalit Yadav to go to. He's got loads of players. This is a wonderful side, and it's a side. Even though there's so many captains, I don't see Ashwin creating an issue with being captain. I don't see Shikhar Dhawan creating an issue with being captain. Though Shikhar only wants to tell all the selectors, you know what? In case you are not watching last year's IPL. This is what I did. And now that you're watching, this is what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, him and Prithvi both, Joy. I mean, they were both on fire for what they were doing during the power play, getting Delhi off to starts. They were pretty much, it's like the first punch knockout, right? In most cases. Look at them.
Yeah, and I absolutely, I have to say this to you, that IPLs are traditionally won by 1, 2, and 3s. And the strike rate at which they're going, both Shikhar and, now you're expecting, Prithvi Shaw has now set a standard, 166, 170. The standard is no longer 140, 145. He's set it to, but Shikhar is matching him. So those two are perhaps in the last 5 years, outside of, I think, Bairstow and Warner, perhaps the most exciting striking pair. And I think they're batting even with more abandon, more freely than even Bairstow and Warner batted in their pomp. So if they can keep even half this strike rate up, because remember one thing, Delhi has done all this, succeeded so well, they still haven't got too much at all from Rabada. Rabada has been having a comparatively a huge off-season, but just the strength of the rest of the side, and Lalit Yadav stepping up, Avesh Khan stepping up, they've just looked fantastic.
Yeah, Avesh Khan is right up there in the wickets, right? He's got 14. What is he? I think he's in second position. Harshal Patel is ahead of him, but he's got 14 wickets. So really stood up, put his hand up. And there's a certain case of Ishant Sharma as well, Harsha.
Yeah.
Yes. I with Ishant Sharma, you've got to wonder, he looked a little, what are the English? A little short of a gallop during the test series. So we'll have to wait and see how he's feeling about coming and playing here. But he'll struggle to go past Avesh Khan in that lineup. But when you're 1 or 6 bowlers, it's always there's always that comfort zone. You have a bad day, doesn't matter. Marcus Stoinis will get the ball. There's Rabada, there's Nokia, there's a good side. But Joy is right. Rabada has sort of defined the Delhi Capitals bowling, and the most important thing we need to talk about is what kind of tracks are you going to get. If you're going to get the same kind of tracks that you got in IPL 2020, one of the reasons IPL 2020 was perhaps the best IPL that I have seen was because the tracks were fantastic and the boundaries were long.
Yeah.
And if you can get those tracks, then Rabada will come straight back into contention.
Yeah, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, in Sharjah, of course, you got a little strip of highway and with the boundary at 32 yards. But that was only in the first half of the tournament. Then that became low and slow as well later. But Abu Dhabi and Dubai, of course, definitely very matched as far as bowlers and batters are concerned. And that's something that you like to see. Gentlemen, quick call. Delhi finishing 1-2, top 2. Delhi finishing top 2 in the league.
Almost certainly. Yep. I mean, I cannot see anything happen from here on.
Okay, there you go. They've got Hyderabad, Rajasthan, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore. They're finishing interestingly. Those last 3 games are very interesting.
Yeah, just the one call that last time the IPL was played here, Prithvi Shaw and Rishabh Pant both struggled. And Rishabh Pant's coming off a less than powerful performance in England. So the last time it was played here, they struggled. In fact, Prithvi Shaw was left out of the side. If you remember, Marcus Stoinis opened in the final. Rahane batted at 3. So that's the only factor. But at the moment, those two have won 4 out of the 5 man of the match awards they've got. I mean, they made 500 runs at some ridiculous. I wrote down some strike rates and I wrote them down thinking it was wrong.
I did the same.
And 187 and Prithvi Shaw's hitting a boundary every 3 balls. अब तुमने बोल ही दिया है कि फ्रंट रो में बैठता हूं तो मैंने कुछ लिख के लाया हूं मैं. But I looked at those numbers and I said, नहीं हो सकता यार. Was it correct? 166 Prithvi Shaw, yes. In the power play, 187. So they've made it easy for everybody else. If they do 80% of what they've done, that's fine.
Yeah, well, Chennai, of course, we're talking about IPL 2020 and carrying that form into 21. Delhi would hope that Shaw and Pant don't do that. Chennai fans would hope the entire Chennai team doesn't do that, because there was one Chennai that played in September and October 2020. There was another Chennai, Joy, that we saw in April of 2021. And that's the Chennai that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, and it's a change of the guard. This is the Chennai. The only old guard who's left there who's really performing for them is Faf du Plessis, who's, as far as I'm concerned, because of his fitness, of the way he keeps himself, he's ageless. But if you look at it, it's Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali and Ruturaj who's giving them what they have. And I'm just looking at it and looking at the numbers. So the first thing you do whenever you look up CSK, Chennai for their entire thing is look up Raina's numbers. And Raina has got 123 runs in 7 matches at a strike rate of 127. And that's something that you find it so difficult to believe. Dhoni has a strike rate. Again, Dhoni has 37 runs in 7 innings. You'd think, he doesn't need it. He hasn't needed to bat that much. But again, he's got them at 123, which again is not the kind of rate you'd be looking at. I can still understand Dhoni not batting at the rate he did. But Raina is worrying because, okay, he's moved from 3 to 4 because Moeen Ali's been given that 3. But this is the new Chennai. This is the Chennai of Ruturaj, Faf, and Moeen Ali. They are the guys who are making the starts. And I think they need these guys to come through. But if Chennai has to threaten for a championship, Raina has to play a part. He's just too good a player not to.
Yeah, but I see a point, because that's what's happened historically, right? Raina's always played a part when Chennai's done well. But now when you see the squad, Harsha, does Raina actually, do they need that much from Raina? Because look at what they've got now. Suddenly they've got, Moeen Ali is firing. That's been inspired when he's batting at 3. Rituraj Gaikwad on top is firing. They've still got a Robin Uttapa who they can use as an opener. Faf is doing well. Faf had an injury concern as well, right? If I remember correct.
Faf's got a groin injury. He's probably going to miss the first game. So is Sam Curran going to miss the first game, because he only landed up at the airport a little before me. So he's also in his second day of quarantine. So Sam Curran is not available.
Yeah.
There's one other name in there that we always overlook, even though he tends to be a slightly volatile kind of person, but he tends to go under the radar, and that is Ambati Rayudu. Now, last year, out of the blue, we wondered how much cricket Ambati Rayudu had played. And he suddenly came and he started scoring runs too. But your point about Raina is valid. Dare I say it, it's okay if MS Dhoni doesn't score runs. I mean, these days he's mentor, right? And, so he's going to be mentoring people. So, but if you look down that side, I've always maintained that top IPL teams are complete teams with 10 players. And they bat all the way down. I mean, on a day, say if Lungi or Ngidi or Tahir are not playing, one day they had Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur and all the others batting 9, 10, 11. So everybody bats over there. So MS Dhoni is okay if he's captain and keeper, because those skills have not left him. Suresh Raina has to score runs, because otherwise they'll have to find a replacement. I mean, he got a 54 of 36 last time to start off with, but after that he just completely plummeted. So Raina has to score runs. He's lost his number 3 slot to Moeen Ali. And Moeen Ali will feel great coming back to Chennai Super Kings, because he goes to England and says, now what is my role in this side now? He comes to Chennai Super Kings, he knows exactly what he has to do.
Yeah, it's the curious case of Moeen Ali, right? Great player, great asset as far as T20 cricket is concerned. You had the T20 series when England visited India. You see he didn't get a game. Suddenly he's playing in the test squad, then he's not in the test squad, then in T20 they don't know where to bat him, how to bowl him. Now suddenly he's one of 2 spinners that is going part of the England squad, if you don't count Liam Livingstone for the World Cup. They're still calling him a part-time spinner. He's got about 200 test wickets. I don't see how he's a part-time spinner. But anyway, there's the 6 matches that he's played. He's got 5 wickets. The economy rate is a runner ball. Any captain in T20 cricket will grab that with both hands. And he scored 206 runs at almost 160 strike rate. So this guy's an asset, right, Joy?
Joy, since you wrote down some numbers, he's got more test wickets than Jim Laker and Prasanna now. But he's a part-time off spinner. But this is not test cricket, so forget it. But he was a big part of Chennai being where they are.
No, not just that. I just found the irony of it all. How does he get a chance back in the T20 squad? Because right at the end of the test matches, when there's a test match which is completely meaningless, he goes and smashes 5 sixes, and then they have to pick him after that, and he comes back. So, that's exactly how things happen. He's never... I don't understand it exactly as you're saying. He's never taken seriously. I mean, he has to look at it. He has to ask the selectors, what guys do I need to do to prove to you that I'm a legitimate all-rounder? I don't understand it, nor does he.
Yeah, but Dhoni seems to understand it, and Dhoni's using it. So what the England selectors and management haven't kind of nailed completely, Dhoni's managed to nail in half a season of the IPL with Mo batting him at 3. Do you still see that, Harsha? Him picking up the same role?
He played a big part. Faf and Ruturaj Gaikwad are giving them the starts. But one of the problems that they had in 2020, there's a notebook here, it's full of all the problems Chennai might have had in 2020. But one of the problems they had was that, one, they were not getting starts, but in the middle overs, they were crawling. I mean, there were days when you'd watch Chennai bat for a long time. Look at the scoreboard, they'd be 33 or they'd be 39. So suddenly Moeen Ali has changed that completely. He's demolishing the spinners in the middle overs. And Moeen Ali and then Jadeja started to play that role. Remember it wasn't a spinner, but Harshal Patel bowled slow off a long run up. When he takes pace off, he's very good. Ravindra Jadeja had 37 runs in 1 over of Harshal Patel, if you remember. So what Jadeja and Moeen Ali have done is they have provided that impetus to that innings. Ruturaj Gaikwad is already a better player than he was in 2020. So those issues that they had with the start and the middle overs, those have been addressed. And suddenly, Chennai are scoring faster than everybody else. I mean, since when was Chennai supposed to play like that?
That is true, because I think in the IPL 2020, they're 7 to 16. I don't exactly know where it was in the pecking order, but it did need a drip at the end of every game. I do remember that happening. It needed intravenous drip by the end of it. I want to ask, I'm tempted, because I'll just ask it because everybody asks it. Last IPL for MSD, I think he's got one more. 6 months away now. Up to 2 baari hota hai saal mein, sir. One more. He can do.
And then 4 months later, he'll just have to train another 4 months and there'll be another. And then hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Last. Yeah. Second last IPL. This is not the so this is not the last one, right, Joy? Not the last one.
I have just one thing to say. The way they look at it, if Dhoni doesn't come back, okay, it's because Dhoni will tell the Chennai team that, look, if you take me and I'm one of your players, then you're stuck with me for 3 years, because it's a 3-year period. This is a single auction. It's a 3-year period. So Dhoni could turn around and say that, you know what, I'll retire now, take over as mentor of the team, take over as something else. It'll be his call. But I can promise you one thing. Chennai will look at him. Chennai will give him the contract and said, tell us what you want to sign as player, as mentor, as coach, as captain. They will give him literally a blank check. I believe that's a relationship they have with him.
Joy. That contract was signed in 2008 and it was a 99-year lease.
Freehold, leasehold.
Brilliant.
Right? Leasehold, 99 years.
Brilliant.
Well done. Yeah, I mean, you don't see, in the IPL at least, you don't see MS Dhoni wearing any other color jersey. For the 2 years in the middle when he was wearing that Pune jersey, it just felt odd. It just felt
wrong.
Odd.
It felt wrong. It just felt wrong.
Twilight Zone. It felt Twilighty. Just felt absolute. And not the teenage Twilight. That's a good one. It felt like Twilight Zone. Felt like that. Can they finish 1-2, you think?
Not as confident as I was with Delhi, because remember, I actually think Bangalore have come stronger with their replacements. I think Mumbai are back to where they like playing. They're away from Chennai, where they were sent into quarantine to play 5 games on those pitches. So they've come out of that. So I think Chennai should definitely qualify. I don't know whether they'll finish 1 and 2 yet, because the 7 is a lot of games. I don't know if they finish 1 or 2. I couldn't be absolutely certain, but they will qualify, no doubt at all.
Excellent. Well, we are talking about a team that could challenge them solid. We're talking about the Bangalore team. They were 3rd in the points table. This, of course, is former India captain Virat Kohli is leading them in T20. It's true. Why are you laughing, Joe? It's correct.
It's not yet former India captin. He's still got a
former T20. Soon to be former T20. Yeah.
Everyone is soon to be former. Let's put it that way.
Everyone's soon.
Okay.
We're all soon to be former. Gee, Joy, that line should have been on the blurb of a bestseller, not just delivered just like that to the laugh.
We just gave that pearl away for nothing. It's for nothing. We are worthless, sir. Why give to us? Give to the world. Take 1 rupee from everyone you give this to. Oh, geez. Yes. That's when people say that, no, the, planet is not dying. I'm like, wait, I got news for you. Everything and everyone is dying. But Bangalore's chances, well, they're not dying. They've come alive. And the fans are super happy about that, because this year they look like solid contenders. Yes, they played a couple of finals before. But this year, there's just something which looks very settled about them. And I think most importantly, it was always felt like it was a 2-horse race, right? It always felt like it was AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli. It was 2 shoulders that were carrying all the weight. The first half of the season that was played in April, Harsha suddenly felt like, okay, fine, there's more. There's more shoulders.
No, the reason I was laughing was when you get Sri Lankans in your team, many things happen. Suddenly in Sri Lanka, the popularity goes up. What is the first thing that happens when you get 2 Sri Lankans in the team? Can we get that the team list up again? You'll find that 2 names are in very small font because you've got to get the whole name into that one column. So Dushmanta Chamira Vanindu Hasaranga. Oh, you got your producer sitting there again. Look what happens with Vanindu Hasaranga and Dushmanta Chamira. Suddenly, you've got to do that. But I think both are excellent picks. The question now is, what happens when Washington Sundar goes out? The moment Washington Sundar, because he's not available, if you replace Washington Sundar with Vanindu Hasaranga, then that's one more overseas player. They're going to play 3 overseas players anyway, because they're going to play 3 are fixed: AB, Maxwell, and Jamieson. Jamieson will get bounced here in Abu Dhabi as well. Now, who is the 4th? And they've made some really good picks because they've got this guy called George Garton from England. There's a lot of people have been talking about George Garton for a very long time. He bowls. There's a batting side to him. Excellent T20 bowler, can really let it rip. You can play Garton. You can play Chamira. You can play Hasaranga. Or they've got somebody else. Hang on, they've got somebody else, and I'm missing somebody here.
Traffic Lau.
And that Tim David's a good player. Tim David has been brought in as backup to as backup to Maxwell. Should something happen to Maxwell, so they've got some, and they can play Dan Christian. So they've got 4 contenders for that one number 7 slot. So I mean, Hasaranga is a fantastic player, and in course of time, Karunaratne is going to be picked as well.
Of course, very important, Joy. This is an important one for Chahal as well. Well, there you go. Hasaranga, of course, being rewarded for
scoring 29
that he showed.
7 wickets.
Yeah, the promise that he showed. He showed a little bit of promise. I remember. Actually, I don't remember that series. I really don't. It's a little difficult. It's a little difficult that Colombo Stadium. Even if you saw the T20s that were played against South Africa now, it's a little cumbersome to watch in that Colombo Stadium. I just
have to remember that series, because next man in was the assistant physio
for India.
India had only 11. People started asking if Rahul Dravid was spotted in the net. So you have to remember that series.
I remember that there were, I think, 6 or 7 debuts that were done in the third T20I.
Everybody played,
Yeah, you remember it for reasons besides cricket, basically that. But Joy, for Chahal, this is definitely a kind of point to prove kind of 7 games for Chahal, right? Because not being picked for the T20 World Cup for a time when you were saying, oh, you pick 7-8 players, that's one name you'll write down surely. Then he doesn't get picked. When 5 spinners are going in that squad, that's got to hurt.
It's definitely going to hurt. And my point is that it took, while he's had a slow descent, I think it's the last tournament that's really given it away from him. And he's a very, very, my point is he's a good bowler. He's a smart bowler. And I think once they go back to Dubai, especially when they're playing at Dubai and Abu Dhabi, those pitches, the size of the pitches will be really suitable for him. I think Chahal's going to do well for them. The other person I now see playing at least most of the matches from here on is Shahbaz Ahmed, because they need a spinner come batsman, somebody who can bat at 6 or 7 and a spinner who gives them something. So if Washington Sundar is out and they want to maintain that same kind of balance, expect Shahbaz to play a lot more matches.
They have openings at 3 and 6, Joy. They had Rajat Patidar. Now, if Shahbaz Ahmed plays 6, now if Shahbaz Ahmed's giving you some overs of spin, then you don't need to play Vanindu Hasaranga. You can actually play someone like Dan Christian in there, who will give you 2 or 3 overs, but no game is over till Christian isn't out, because he's such a fearsome finisher. So they can play someone like that, or they'll say we just back our batting, man, and play the extra bowler. So they've given themselves a lot of options. I actually believe the newcomers in this side have strengthened the side compared to what they had before. The question is, number 3, they need someone to keep it going there. And can Virat Kohli up that strike rate? Virat Kohli shouldn't be batting at 120, 121, 122, because he's gone up to open the batting for a reason. So, Virat has to come back either the top of the order or 3, doesn't matter where, and just deliver and play like Virat Kohli. On these pitches, he'll enjoy batting as well. I don't know what's going on in his mind. It's a slightly turbulent phase in his life. So I don't know whether the Virat Kohli who's coming into play for Bangalore is someone who's going, wow, here I am taking on the world, the alpha male, the share entering the field, or whether there's too much happening. But Virat Kohli, a strike rate 120, 122 wasn't helping. Luckily for Bangalore, Maxwell and AB had fantastic tournaments. AB always has fantastic tournament. I think that's another 99-year lease there with Bangalore and AB. But see, Maxwell 144. Finally, someone started saying, let's do a return on investment on Maxwell and let's see if he can publish it. Because all along, you could never publish it out of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Now he's doing it. And he's just such a good player, Maxwell. Every time you look at Maxwell, you think he's meant to play. And I think remember 2014, he did well. He'll come back here and do well. Kohli is the one I'm watching for.
Yeah, and Joy, just on Virat, I mean, what Harsha just said, it's kind of been a little weird, right? The last couple of weeks have been a little weird. Just this whole announcement, the way it's been done, it just seems, weird.
Yeah, I think two things, strike me immediately for whatever it's worth. Maybe because it's a bubble and therefore people can't really meet each other. There seems to be a serious communication gap between what the selectors maybe are saying and what Virat is hearing, or what Virat is saying and the selectors are listening, and it's not helping anyone. And I think in many ways, I find it interesting. I believe Virat is going to come here for whatever it's worth, though they haven't won. I think in many ways, RCB, Bangalore is a haven for him. He's going to come there and say, I'm just going to forget about everything. These guys are my guys. They have my back. I'm going to play cricket. Let's try and win the IPL. I think he's not going to think beyond that. And it's good for him because, he doesn't have the larger thoughts that are, going through everyone's minds at this stage, saying, are these guys backing me? Are they not backing me? I think he just needs to go and play some cricket and have some fun for a change.
Every time an IPL starts, Gaurav, starts, wherever Virat Kohli goes, he sees banners, Rohit Sharma 5 IPLs, Rohit Sharma 5 IPLs. I don't think you should worry about that at all. He's Virat Kohli. When you have achieved what you have as Virat Kohli, you don't have to worry about that. Those are things that should happen. If he worries about that, then I think Bangalore have an issue. But who are we to tell? I mean, Virat's a great player, but Bangalore need a little more from Kohli the batsman. Kohli the captain is fine, but they need a little more from Kohli the batsman. And if Kohli the batsman starts to deliver, then AB, Maxwell, they just become a completely different side.
Well, I mean, AB is AB, right? I mean, he is. It's to say A, B, C, D. C is cricket, and A, B, and D are AB de Villiers. But that's what you see. He's just such a joy to watch. And the way that he's been going, even now, you look at him and you don't think that this guy's not been playing any competitive cricket. Between him turning out in this black and red jersey, doesn't play any competitive cricket. This guy is just I don't know, he's cut from a different cloth, isn't he?
I mean, you get up in the morning, you wake Joy up at 3 in the morning and tell him what is the origin of the word quarantine. He'll tell you, right? It's like that with AB. You just wake him up and put him on the ground, he'll score runs.
Yeah. Joy, so tell us how the word quarantine came to be.
He told you, Baba, that's why. He told you 40, quarantine, 40 din.
What makes you think I was awake at the time? It was only 7 p.m. I was not awake at the time. But yeah, Bangalore, of course, looking strong. Two big things for him. For Virat is that Glenn Maxwell, somehow the Bangalore management have figured out how to unlock Glenn Maxwell, something that a lot of teams have not managed to do in the last 6 or 7 seasons. That has really worked well for them, taken the weight off the shoulders of AB and Virat. And of course, they've got Kyle Jamieson there, bowling the ball from the first floor. Unfair, but of course, and a good bat as well. So giving them a really good balance over there. So this is looking like a solid squad. Maybe. What's that, Joy? What is their thing? Namma Kabde? What is it?
I never get it right, because if I say it wrong, I will be banned from getting off the airport.
Ee saal cup namma de.
Which means this year, give us the cup.
This year
the cup is ours. This year the cup is ours. But you make a very valid point about Chahal. We talked about Kohli. I think they've got to look after Chahal a little bit. It's going to be a very tough pill for him to swallow. He's a magnificent bowler. So they've got to get the right Chahal back on the ground if they can do that. Look, this IPL is going to be very interesting to watch. We talked about Shikhar Dhawan, Shreyas Iyer, all these people who are in the T20 side. Shikhar a little earlier. Shreyas Iyer, before the injury, had made number 4 his own. So Shikhar Dhawan, Shreyas Iyer, YUZVENDRA, CHAHAL, Deepak Chahar, all these guys are looking at these 7 games to tell the selectors, "Bhai, मैं यहाँ हूँ, कहाँ गए थे आप लोग? मैं तो यहीं हूँ."
Yes.
So CHENNAI is something who's going to be very, very central. If RCB have to win, yes, we talk about all the big batting guns because you think RCB, you think batting, but CHENNAI has to play a big part. And then let's see what Siraj, Viraj, and the others.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the defending champions now. Mumbai, these guys 4-3 out of 7, winning 4, losing 3. This is a Mumbai team that, of course, they've got 5 tournaments. They've got 5 cups under their belt. They're going for the 6th. They're going for a hat-trick now. Remember, they do well in odd years. So this is an odd year. They seem to have won it every odd year. So what is it, 13, 15, 17, 19? Can they do it in 21 as well? The thing for them, of course, is, Joy, that there is no replacements here, right? Same team.
Yeah, they are a solid team. And the interesting thing is that they got no bowling out of Hardik Pandya in the first period. They got no bowling out of Hardik Pandya in the first period. They're going to get it. They are not going to be playing in Chennai, as Harsha has mentioned, that pitch is probably the least suited pitch for them. And Jasprit Bumrah is going to bowl better than he bowled the first time round. These are 3 certainties of life that I can tell you. And those 3 automatically make them a much, much better team.
Yeah, and this is, if you look at their bowling, just look at their bowling right now. Well, it's very important that Hardik bowls, right? Harsha, we keep talking about that in terms of India, in terms of Mumbai. Hardik bowling is very important. With Mumbai, it's a very strange thing. Hardik bowls sometimes, doesn't bowl sometimes. There's never any communication from that tight-knit management group or from Mumbai saying where Hardik is, whether he will bowl, and if he doesn't bowl, why he's not bowling. But the fact remains that if he's been picked for the World Cup, and if Chetan Sharma has come out and said that we will be getting the overs out of him, then now it's interesting. Is Rohit, who is there now as his captain, saying, all right, listen, man, I'm going to use him judiciously, right? Because he is important for India. We have plenty of options. Or will Hardik say, no, I want to get into rhythm. It's 7 games. I want my 28 overs.
He has to. I mean, if not 28 overs, he's got to be bowling 2-3 overs every single game. Because the moment that happens, Mumbai go into the template that they like. 2 overseas fast bowlers, Jasprit Bumrah, Hardik Pandya, take a little bit of pressure off Krunal Pandya. On his day, Krunal will give you 4. Get Rahul Chahar, who's bowling really well, was one of the standout players in those middle overs for them during while they were in Chennai. But it does something else. When Hardik Pandya is bowling, then suddenly he's contributing to the side 2 ways. He's not a pure middle order batsman. So if he's not bowling, he's got to be delivering runs. And so there's pressure on him. Which are the 2 tournaments that Hardik Pandya has failed in? One, when he was sent out to bat at number 3 and he could not score a run. And now he wasn't bowling in the first half of the IPL. He's made, 50, 60 runs or something. Yeah. So if Pandya is bowling, suddenly he's more relaxed. I think he becomes a better batsman when he's bowling too. I mean, having said that, he went to Australia and whatever. He's played some great innings when he hasn't bowled. But when he bowls, it makes a huge difference to the side. You don't have to go to KIERON Pollard, whose bowling is okay for an over or 2. But if you're going to KIERON Pollard, the team's already in trouble. So it goes back to the great Mumbai template. But they've got 2 other things going for them this year. Mumbai, I mean, Hardik Pandya will send a message saying, "वो क्यों दिखा रहे थे? निकाल दो ना वो graphic क्या? Strike rate भी कुछ नहीं है." So they've got 2 other things going for them. One is Quinton de Kock has just come back from Sri Lanka scoring a lot of runs. Now those pitches in Sri Lanka were not designed to score runs on. We've had some really strange T20 games in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh where 3 figures was an achievement. So Quinton de Kock has come back from there scoring runs. The last game they won in 15 overs or something. That is one big achievement.
De Kock being...
they won by 10 wickets that last game, correct? Yeah. And they didn't have Pattinson. They were playing Coulter-Nile. They played the tall left-hander Marco Jansen. But one of the standout performers in the 100 in England was Adam Milne.
Yeah.
And Adam Milne was bowling quick again. He's the sort of 16th player in that New Zealand side. Suddenly Milne comes back. Trent Bolt will start to get a little bit over here. So you go back, you've got Bolt, Milne, Bumrah, Pandya, and you've got a very serious bowling lineup with Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya. Then you're batting down. Mill can give you some runs at the end. Rahul Char can give you some runs. Suddenly, this starts looking like the Mumbai side we know, not the side that was playing in Chennai.
Yeah, I mean, Chennai, of course, was one ground where they were playing and they don't like Chennai at all. Then they went to Delhi. Of course, Delhi, there was that heist, I think, that Pollard did. But traditionally, Mumbai has actually had a negative record in Delhi out of all. If you see all the grounds that they played, Delhi is the one that they don't like. So they'll be very happy, Joy, that it's coming again to Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Let's see where their games are. I think that's also very important to see because I remember last year when they were playing in, I think they were playing in Abu Dhabi, weren't they, Harsha, last year? Where Bolt was getting a bit, right? Bolt was getting a bit of swing there. He was getting some genuine bona fide swing. Was Trent Bolt. Let's have a look at where their games are happening, and then we'll see that. We saw some Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Yeah. There you go. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. So there you go. They're playing Chennai in Dubai. That will suit Mumbai more than it will suit Chennai. And then, of course, they play Bangalore in Dubai as well, and that's a game that I'm really looking forward to. The 26th of
Delhi was
September.
Delhi was the savior for them. A lot of people in Mumbai, especially in the political world, aspire to go to Delhi and do well. They never do. But the cricket team went to Delhi and did well.
First time. They did, because usually they don't. If you remember, there was one year where they were supposed to qualify. A Delhi team that was out of the tournament managed to knock them out. And Mumbai did not qualify. One of those rare years where Mumbai didn't qualify. That also happens. Top four, gentlemen, they're qualifying for sure. Yes.
Top four, I think, look, they'll have two Sharjah matches in the end, but I think those first four matches will tell us which Mumbai side is landing up. And I'm pretty sure that the Mumbai side that's landing up, I mean, they had Chennai followed by Delhi, which was actually great for them compared to Chennai. After that, Abu Dhabi and Dubai will seem like a dream to them. They're rested. Yeah. I think they're a very good team. And, the kind of confidence that Surya Kumar Yadav and, Ishan Kishan and these boys are bringing to the side with, fresh internationals, established international players now. I can't see this team doing. And Quinton de Kock, as Harsha was saying, is in brilliant form. I see a top two finish actually from them. I see DC and
nice.
I see a top two finish from them.
So one player I'm going to watch very closely. I saw Rohit Sharma play in England, and I saw someone who was born to be a test match opening batsman, leaving the ball, playing close to his body, technically superb, temperamentally outstanding. This was someone you're saying, hang on, why hasn't he been opening the batting for you in test cricket for the last 10 years? In such demanding conditions, he was the best opening batsman going around. And strike rate 38, 39. How quickly can he change to being the Rohit Sharma white ball batsman who says, I don't need to leave. I'm now free. So I'd be very interested in seeing that. And I think from that point of view, though he's needed to quarantine, not having that test match would have actually benefited Mumbai through Rohit and Bumrah.
It's a flip of a switch. He's an all-time great. It'll be a flip of a switch. He was, I think, in the first. Let's call this first installment and second installment of IPL 2020. Pehli kist mein, he was the leading scorer for them, right? He was the leading scorer for them. He'll switch back into that mode, probably first game. I don't think he'll have Pollard in the first game, though, right? Because Pollard is just come into quarantine after the CPL. I don't think he'll have
to bubble, no quarantine. No, bubble to bubble, no quarantine for people coming from West Indies.
Okay.
Bubble to bubble. There was a plane that carried 40-45 people in and
landed in the hotel.
Some Dubai, some Abu Dhabi, but there West Indies were bubble to bubble.
Yeah, okay. That's good. As were the England players as well? England players were not in a bubble there. So that's why Indian players were not over there. All right. Moving to Rajasthan. Big trouble. And we're talking about England trouble for Rajasthan. No Jos Buttler, no Ben Stokes, no Jofra Archer. It's a lot of trouble. I mean, they've got Evan Lewis who's coming in. They've got a Glenn Phillips over there. They've still got, the good thing is, of course, that Liam Livingston this summer has shown some incredible form, Joy, for England, playing for England. So you can see him getting, a big role in this team, and he'll have to, right?
Yeah, look, two things have happened to this team which are interesting. One is, I think, Lewis and Glenn Phillips, given what Jos Buttler is something that is very difficult to replace. And to replace Jos Buttler when you've already lost Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer. And you can understand it because the Rajasthan management traditionally is half English, half Indian. So they pick a lot of top English players. That's been their style. And losing 3 of those 4 is a big one for them. But I believe that Evan Lewis is a player who can make a difference. He can really make a difference. He can tonk it. These pitches will be more suitable to him than India. I think O'Shane Thomas, again, in the first 2020, he was not that bad at all. I think, of course, I mean, it's impossible to lose players like Jos Buttler and not, look worse. But I still think they have a chance. It really depends on how their Indian core delivers for them. Sanju Samson has always, flattered to deceive, but for once he's held his form together for the first 7 matches. He's held his form together so far. If he holds it on for another 7, they might just challenge for that 4th place.
Yeah, he's not been, Cinderella. Cinderella is the term you use for him, right? The bell of one ball and then just disappears. But he's definitely not been Cinderella this time. Who are their 4 overseas players, Harsha? Who do you play? Like you have a Tabraiz Shamsi who's coming right now.
Yeah.
Top rated, right? Top rated Tabraiz Shamsi. He's been drafted in there. Liam Livingston, you got to play him. Chris Morris, you paid him top dollar. You have to play him. Then
correct.
Evan
I'm
Lewis,
trying to figure out how they will play. If they have to play Tabraiz Shamsi, they will play Evan Lewis, they will play Liam Livingston, they will play Chris Morris, as you said. Now, if they have to play Tabraiz Shamsi, then they need to get 3 Indian quicks or 3 other Indian bowlers coming in. And then if they are playing Sakaria and Unatkat and Karthik Tyagi, they don't need to play Karthik Tyagi. They've got Tewatia.
They'll play the spinner.
Tewatia. So actually, if you see what happens, there's a little hole at 5 and 6, which should not exist, because we talk every year about Shivam Dube and Riyan Parag. Then another 6 months go by, we talk about Shivam Dube and Riyan Parag. Then another 6 months go by, we talk about Shivam Dube and Riyan Parag. But if those two at 5 and 6 do well, that top 4 is excellent. By the way, Evan Lewis is not a huge fellow, but Evan Lewis has hit 13 sixes more than anybody else in the CPL. And he has been in just ridiculous form. So Evan Lewis on these wickets, Evan Lewis in Chennai, you wouldn't have bothered, but Evan Lewis on these wickets, fantastic. So Evan Lewis, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sanju Samson, Liam Livingston, that's an outstanding top 4. Then you go 7, 8, Morris and Tewatia, or Tewatia and Morris, 7 and 8 over there. That leaves you 3 spots. If you want to play Shamsi, you play 2 of Karthik Tyagi or
Sakaria Unatkat.
Sakaria Unatkat, or you can play Fizz. If you think that wicket is doing something, you can play Fizz over there. So that means that you must get something out of 5 and 6. They could well say, listen, we'll play Shivam Dube. We don't need to play Riyan Parag because we can play Chris Morris at 6. We can play Tewatia at 7 and we'll just increase our bowling a little bit. But they've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And Liam Livingston will bowl a little bit. Shivam Dube will bowl a little bit. Parag will bowl that 1 over that he normally does. But that's still all right. So they're actually not a bad side. Especially if they get going, they've got good, big hitting power batsmen, and Livingston, everyone's talking about as the next big thing. So it's not a bad side. They need to start well though, because they're 3-4 now, right? If they go 3-5, 3-6, then suddenly it becomes very difficult to come back.
Yeah, it becomes difficult, and more so because of how well the top teams are doing, right? It's not just how you're doing, it's how the top teams are doing, and they're dominating. So then it just becomes very difficult to get a place in there. And obviously, Chris Morris with his price tag right now, going for such an just before a very big auction. Also, Joy, importantly, not being picked for South Africa.
Yeah. Chris Morris is a strange one because I've seen some innings of his for Delhi and you think this guy is an absolutely outstanding all-rounder.
It's the one, Joy. We keep referring to it. It was the one, wasn't it? And it was not on the winning cause. It was not a winning cause.
It was not in a winning cause. It was not in a winning cause.
Yeah.
He took them very close.
That he did in Kotla. Yeah.
But that's the thing, that Chris Morris never gives you that feeling. Dhoni and his pomp was just the opposite. However badly or well he plays, somewhere in the end, he'll get you across the line. With Chris Morris, it's just the opposite. You feel, however well he plays, somewhere in the end, you'll be looking, the other team will be going up and people will be patting him in the back and saying, well done, Chris, fantastic. But, you guys just fell short of the line. So my thing is that if you see that dressing room, I mean, Sanju has to take a disproportionate share of it. And he's a fairly young guy himself. He's a young captain. There isn't that much experience in that dressing room. There aren't that many seniors. Chris Morris is a senior. But otherwise, these guys are very much on their own, and young teams tend to be more temperamental, up and down. When things go well, they go really well. When things go down, they tend to go a lot of ups and downs. So who is that, calm person in the dressing room who will calm them down and keep them well? That person is going to be vital for them.
Could well be Sanju Samson. But I'll tell you something, it's funny about Chris Morris. I mean, I've talked to so many people in South Africa, they are bemused by how much he earns in India. It's a bit like, Jacob's Creek is the Indian Australian wine, not the Australian wine. Similarly, Chris Morris is the Indian South African player, not the South African player. They don't seem to rate him over there. He would be, after Quinton de Kock and maybe Rabada, my first pick in that South African side. I know Temba's Bavuma is now the captain, but he just doesn't play enough cricket in South Africa. The feeling in South Africa is he keeps himself fit to play IPL to IPL. But when he comes up, he's an outstanding IPL player. The other thing with Chris Morris is you don't know which part of his muscle is giving him trouble at any given time. So hopefully he'll be fit. But you can back them to create trouble.
Let's look at the Punjab team. If there is a team that is mercurial and just happens to be mercurial every year, it is this Punjab team. Let's have a look at what they have. They're two expensive purchases. If you remember, there was Richardson, there was Riley Meredith. Both of them are not there now. Who do they have as
Nathan Ellis?
So
Nathan Ellis has come in.
Ellis, who's come in, and Makram has come in. Aiden Makram has come in. And Makram actually has done Harsha did very well as a bowler in the 3 T20s in Sri Lanka right now.
At this time in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, on the tracks they were playing in, you and me would have bowled off spin and done all right. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Makram. I've seen him bowl. He's a proper bowler, but
Makram is no Akram. Sorry.
Yeah. You should have said sorry before the line. Joy said sorry before the line. But
it is like how some meals must come with an ambulance, some jokes must come with an apology before, right? It's just to come before. But yes, it's a good point, Harsha, you make about Makram, because everyone was bowling Fortune.
Beyond fortune. Good cricketer. Beyond fortune.
That is.
So South Africa bowling 13, 14 overs and Kagiso Rabada is bowling 2. Those are the overs that are going for runs.
Correct.
But at least in Sri Lanka they're playing 130 games. In Bangladesh you couldn't get to 110. Anyway, that's a separate story. Fizz was bowling 4 overs, 4 for 12 or something.
I think the one talking point always for Punjab is, are you playing Rahul and Mayank as openers and Gayle at 3? Will they continue with that, or will they'll keep that, right? The Jay and Viru are going to open together, aren't they? Best pals.
I think they will. And I think Gayle is at this stage is just turning around and saying that, give me a 3. He'd like to play. I think Gayle really knows that, now the odometer is going a bit high. The clock is ticking. He wants to make this a big IPL, but I don't think he'll disturb the openers. The problem with, Punjab has always been, whenever they've solved one problem, the place, the tap has leaked in another place. They solve one problem, suddenly their fast bowling becomes a problem. They solve that, somewhere else it leaks. Then by the time they solve their spinners, the fast bowlers are giving away runs again. They never seem to have completed their solution. And, these are days, in the early days, you'd look at Rajasthan and Punjab and said, they're smaller franchises, they can't spend that much money. That excuse has gone away. There is no reason for every side not to be an excellent top-level side. Nobody's saving money right now. They don't need to. The tournament is a profitable tournament. So I find Punjab, their problems a bit bemusing. They just can't seem to get all of it together ever.
They're spending the money. They spent big money on Meredith and Jai Richardson. That was some big money that they spent there, Harsha.
The Australian pension, but sorry, while I was doing Joy, I was Googling the meaning of odometer, an instrument used for measuring the distance traveled by a wheeled vehicle. Odometer. Okay, nothing to do with smells. It was an odometer.
He meant, correct. He meant the miles. He meant the miles.
Gadi ka mileage. I said mileage. Gadi ka mileage.
The mileage,
but you said odometer with Gayle, and I thought, hang on, you don't want to be running into him. But okay, odometer. But Mike Agarwal was fantastic. Every year, the top 3 are good for them. Though Gayle at number 3 is not quite Gayle as an opener. And even now in the CPL, when he was blowing hot and cold, he was getting the runs as opener more than he was getting at 3. But if they go those 3, then what next? And that has been Punjab's problem. Also, because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are not giving runs, we're seeing a different KL Rahul. I mean, which is the KL Rahul you want to see? The Rahul of 2018, boom, boom, boom. But because they can't trust the batting to follow, and because their fast bowlers are leaking runs, he had to play a different role. He shouldn't be playing that role. He's far too good a player to be playing 60 or 48 or whatever. That's not KL Rahul. But he's having to play that role. By the way, Mayank Agarwal had a fantastic tournament last year as well. So he hasn't played for a while. But Punjab have that issue. It'll surprise me if they make a huge comeback.
Let's have a look at their squad once again, because want to see, who would their 4 foreigners be. I mean, you obviously are playing Nicholas Pooran there as well. You have a Moses Henriques, who went to West Indies right now with the team. There's a Fabian Allen. There is Chris Jordan, very good at T20 cricket. Adil Rashid, who's been drafted. About time that Adil Rashid, got an IPL gig. That's what Michael Vaughan had to say when Adil Rashid was picked up, and deservedly so. And then, of course, there's Nathan Ellis. So who are the 4 that you're playing there, Harsha?
You're playing Chris Gayle and Nicholas Pooran because you're hoping that second installment of IPL will see the CPL Nicholas Pooran and not the IPL Nicholas Pooran, because they're 2 different entities. So you're playing Pooran definitely. Now you need someone to bowl at the end because you've got Shami. So maybe they'll play Jordan.
Yeah.
Given that those 2 have gone, unless they want to look at Nathan Ellis. Fabian Allen again. The Fabian Allen who plays for the West Indies delivers a couple of overs, but is a fearsome finisher down at 7. I mean, if you play Adil Rashid, you've got Murugan Ashwin, you've got Ravi Bishnoi. So they went and picked another leggy. But the one Indian player they will play is who gave us one of the moments of the first installment, and that was Harpreet Brar. Remember Harpreet Brar? Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Glenn Maxwell in that one spell. But you're looking at this side and saying, okay, if they've got to make a comeback in the tournament, who's going to do it for them apart from the top 3 batsmen? And really, to be honest, you're searching.
Interesting. Well, Punjab. Let's move to the next team. This is, of course, the Kolkata team. Let's have a look at their squad.
So when you say let's move, you meant 2 of us? Or?
Yeah, now it's time for a monologue. A monologue. This time, Joy has in fact prepared a little interpretive dance as well to go along with what he says about Kolkata. So that's what he's going to be doing. Let's have a look at the squad. There is no Pat Cummins for them, which of course is big news because Pat Cummins did well for them in the last IPL, not the last installment, the last IPL. I remember batting at 7, got a 50 as well at that time. They do have Lockie Ferguson, who, you've got Tim Southee who's coming in, of course. Tim Southee, great experienced campaigner. But their problems are not in the bottom 5, are they? Their problems have been in the top 6. One season, you have 4, 5, 6 who work and 1, 2, 3 don't. In one season, 1, 2, 3 are scoring in 4, 5, 6. As a cohesive batting unit, Joy, they have to come together.
Yeah. The truth of every IPL from 2008 onwards is 1, 2, and 3 have to give you a substantial number of runs. And if you see the pedigree of the batsman batting at 1, 2, 3, your 4, 5, and 6 are Dinesh Karthik, Owen Morgan, and Andre Russell. That's terrific, phenomenal pedigree. Your first 3 are Shubman Gill, Rahul Tripathi, and Nitish Rana. And all of them are young batsmen who are trying at their very best. I do not doubt their ability at all. I don't doubt their, talent. They're trying their best. But are they the best 3 batsmen in the team? They're not. And I believe that if the best 3 batsmen cannot get the maximum number of balls, it tends to be a problem. Shubman has not been the batsman. They've really believed in Shubman. They've really invested in him. And he's simply that 117 strike rate for an opener is a travesty. You cannot play at 117. And you know what the funny thing about Shubman is? You'll say that he'll hit one shot that will make you think this guy is pure, utter class. And then he'll get out and you'll wonder, what was he doing? He's an infuriating player just because he's so talented. But if 1, 2, and 3 are not giving you runs, I would, in fact, if I had to even resuscitate the season, do something, I'd tell Dinesh Karthik, go bat at 3. Go bat at 3. Go in there, bat at 3. You're our best batsman. You have so many international games behind you. Go bat at 3 and see what you can do for the team. Because it's certainly you can't expect these 3 young kids to deliver for you and expect to win a season.
I see a point.
It's
What
not
if you
just,
say Morgan as captain, play at 3? Dinesh Karthik always seems to flower when you kind of punch him into a corner, right? We always talk about how DK does really well when, you know, there's not too much time. You put him and throw him in the deep end. Some people are just better deep end swimmers than shallow end swimmers. DK just seems to have specialized in that, likes that role, wants to play that role. What if Morgan just takes... It seems like Morgan keeps pushing himself down. Dhoni can afford to do that in a Chennai where you're batting till 10, 11, sometimes even 12. But with Kolkata, you can't, Harsha. Morgan perhaps has to take more responsibility and say, let me steer the innings at 3.
And somebody has to, because as Joy said, we saw the numbers for Shubman Gill, 117 strike rate, but Nitish Rana and Rahul Tripathi also scoring about 120, 122 strike rate.
Yeah, 120, 125. Yeah.
So you're getting a traffic jam at the top. So either of Sunil Narayan or Shakib, whoever's playing, maybe Sunil Narayan, maybe just say, okay, listen, go back there. I know bouncy pitches. I know they'll start bouncing Sunil Narayan. But if he comes off in 2 games out of 7, he comes off 3 games out of 7, that's wow. But if he comes off, he'll do that for you. But they need somebody there. I agree with Morgan, but see what he's doing at England as well. Even at England, when Ben Stokes plays, some days he was batting at 6, with Stokes at 5. Or in England, he's batting at 5.
That's a different batting lineup altogether, isn't it? That's
I agree. That's a fair point.
Batting order. So it's like horses for courses.
I also believe in
something very interesting. Brendan McCullum's been going on and on. He said, I was doing one of the post-match shows the day that Harpreet Brar took all those wickets. And he said, I think we're that close to coming back, but they have to play without fear. And the coach is trying to get them to play the way he played, without fear, and saying, just go for it. We'll bat down to 7, 8. Go for it. And he's getting a bit frustrated that is not happening. I mean, he said Shubman Gill is going to be captain of India one day, but he's got to learn to play without fear. And that is what I think he wants from them. So if that point is driven home, you might just see, look, there's a team that's nothing to lose situation at the moment, which is when you're most dangerous. Nothing to lose. I mean, no one's expecting Kolkata to qualify for the playoffs. So it might as well just go boom, 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 and see what happens.
That is the thing that you talk about, security given to players, right? So with the Kolkata Joy, we noticed this problem that their batting order was becoming like a revolving door, right? You just had no idea who's going to come out in what position, except Shubman Gill, where they said that we're going to give you the opener position and that stays. But that security as well has not really paid dividends to Kolkata, as you can see with that 117 strike rate. He is, as you say, he is sublime. When he hits that shot, you're like, throw the textbook out, because this is a living interpretation of that textbook, right? And they're not getting that, but they definitely don't need that revolving door as well. They have to pass that security down, I guess, to everyone. So sort it out. Are you going with Narayan as opener? Because there are times when Narayan has played as opener where they said, you're going to play the season, or you're going to play 10 games, 12 games out of the season. Sort it out, set it up. Of course, then you can move, Russell when there's 2 overs left, or, as opposed to somebody else. But actually have that batting order a little more etched in stone than they were doing in the previous season.
I think in this season, they were actually trying to use that same first year and saying, we are giving you the security, keep playing. They were these guys were just not delivering for them. And see, I completely subscribe to what Harsha is saying, that McCullum is the kind of coach who plays best with his back to the wall. They have their backs to the wall now. There's no doubt about it. 2 and 5, you lose a couple more games, you're out of this tournament. So all I'm saying is, I would throw the heavy artillery, because again, remember one more thing. The other huge impact this season has is, after this season, all bets are off. It's a mega auction. Everything changes. Almost the entire composition of the team changes. So you can turn around. So you're not disturbing any long-term plans. You're telling guys saying, look, we have nothing to lose. Next year, half of you, 90% of you may not be back. Why don't you go and play? Sunil, go up front and prove to them that you can be an opener. Okay? Shubman, I don't care if you get out for 0 every match. I want your strike rate not to be below 150 for every match. I'm going to put a gun to their heads and say, go do it. And maybe, just maybe, you need a couple of lucky breaks and things just turn your way. It's been known to happen.
Look what happens when you get a sensitive, poetic soul going from Kolkata to Gurgaon. He's suddenly talking of putting guns to people's heads.
Gurgaon in him.
The good thing for Kolkata, though, is that Sunil Narayan is bowling those 4 overs 14, 4 overs 18 again in the CPL at least. Yeah. I mean, there was one game where the side playing against him made 200 and he had 4 overs 15 or something like that. 4 overs 14. So he's bowling well again. I saw a 13 ball, 14 ball, 30 as well. So maybe, I just go for it. People will bounce him, but bother, he'll get top edges.
Let's have a look at the Kolkata squad again, one quick, because you have Lockie Ferguson there. They've not been using Lockie Ferguson. They have to, right? You'd want to give him these 7 games because the other pace bowlers are inexperienced compared to...
No, they got Tim Southee therefore.
To him. Yeah, they've got Tim Southee as well. Don't know whether that will happen or not because you're obviously playing the captain and you're playing Russell in every game, right? Then if you play Sunil Narayan, you're playing... So 3 of their spots tend to get taken, normally in the top 6 or 7. So therefore, your bowlers predominantly have to be Indian. And you'd want to, if you would just pick one foreign pace bowler, Joy, would you go for Loki or would you go for Tim Southee?
Depending on the conditions, but I would generally, I believe Southee gives you more wickets. Loki's a faster bowler. He's a more intimidating bowler. But I still would back Tim Southee simply because of the experience he has playing the IPL. I think he's an old hand. He's played for Mumbai. He's been around. I would like Tim Southee back in the role. I'm wondering, they're Indian fast bowlers. They've got Prasidh Krishna, who's now stepped into it. The other thing that you just look at and say, with all that money, with all that talent, a side that is 2 and 5 and Kuldeep Yadav doesn't get a chance, it's just a travesty of justice for me.
Yeah, we keep talking about there's Rahul Tripathi, Nitish Rana, Shubman Gill up front. There's a Sheldon Jackson who seems to be doing so well domestically, keeps doing well domestically, doesn't seem to get a look in. Has he played an IPL game, Harsha? I don't even think he's played one, right?
I think he played one, but the last time around, he was in KKR one other time around. I think he played then. Yeah. He hasn't played this season.
Yeah, he's got to get
Nitish Rana's spot or Rahul Tripathi's spot if he's going to play. There's the Shakib in there as well, who's played well for Bangladesh recently. He plays at 3 for Bangladesh. So if they, these conditions, you can't play Narayan and Shakib both. So you might have to play one of those. I tend to go Joy Lockie over Southee because Lockie bowled really well in the UAE when Cummins was away for a couple of games. He came in, he took a hat trick. Remember, he bowled he bowled well.
Actually, he bowled very well. He bowled very well.
I don't want to be rude, but if there's a super over and Southee in your side, then you're starting to get a bit worried.
Very true. That is true.
Just me being rude.
That's old wounds somewhere being hurt. Yeah.
That's just him being naughty. But there was one team that was being very naughty, which was Hyderabad. The management was being very naughty. Yes, last time around. There was a lot of talk about, the captain. Seems familiar, doesn't it? Captain and management sending different messages. And then captain says, I am no more captain. What am I saying? I'm not suggesting anything. What are you guys saying? No? What are you reading into it? Kane Williamson as captain. I like Kane Williamson as captain. And with Johnny Bairstow not coming, that David Warner will be playing. They need, Harsha, they need a happy unit. Kane Williamson is a very good captain. There's no problem, right? Kane Williamson's a great leader, inspirational leader. They need a David Warner to come in and say, doesn't matter, mate. You take over, just like DK did with Ewan Morgan, saying it's fine. You be the captain. I'll do what I can for the team, which is score lots of runs. If they did that, David Warner showing up, which I think he will, this team's not going to be languishing at the bottom for very long.
No, it isn't. They've generally got to tap David Warner on the shoulder and say all those Telugu TikTok songs are all fine, but can you now go and hit runs like the Telugu actors in the climax scenes? Just go and hit some runs for us.
Nice.
So no best, so they have to play him. Yeah.
I'm just saying they have to tap him and say, big IPL auction coming up. That's all they need to tell him. Big IPL auction coming up. Lots of money at stake. $90 million going this year. Just watch him play the next 7 games.
Yeah, let's see who would open with him. There's obviously Jason Roy. There's a like-for-like replacement, right? If Bairstow goes out, you get Jason Roy in to open with Warner. But they've got Indian options as well. So let's pull the squad up for you guys. There you go. They've got Indian options to open.
The moment Bairstow is 2 players going out, because there's a keeper going out and an opener going out. Now, so you've got to replace him with a keeper. Now, who is the keeper they have? They have Srivats Goswami, who's around there. He's their umbrella. Whenever there's what trouble, Srivats Goswami comes in. But they have to play Ridhiman Saha now. So if they play Ridhiman Saha, he has to open the batting or bat at 3 or whatever. So
you can't bat him.
So Williamson is 3, Manish Pandey is 4. So Saha has to open. Then there's no room for Jason Roy. I mean, on these pitches, Jason Roy will do really well. It'd be great to have Jason Roy and David Warner.
But it gives you so many options, right? Because then it gives you, because Rashid takes one spot, Kane Williamson and Warner take one spot. So actually you only have one spot to play with, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, you need either a Nabi or a holder in the middle. That has been shown, in previous seasons. So if Roy is not playing and if Saha can take that spot, it actually gives them room to maneuver between Nabi and holder, depending on where they think the pitch will go.
Yeah, and absolutely. And every Bengali will be delighted. It's a Roy being replaced by a Saha. So it stays in the sort of family. You know what I mean?
I think this is your mic drop moment. I think we should just end the show here only. I think it's just, that's it. Or you should just leave. You should say, good night, ladies and gentlemen. You were a great audience, and just walk out. That's good. That was good. So Roy with the Saha. You think that works as well? You get Saha to open and then just give some space in the middle?
So when we had Saha in KKR, and he's a great trier, but he can only bat either at 1, 2, or 3. You can't bat him later than that. He has to bat in the first 3, and he'll throw his bat and he'll get you runs. I remember after KKR, 3 seasons in KKR, he went to Chennai. They used him at a pinch hitter, and against KKR, we all know the finals in 2014. But before that, playing for Chennai, he smashed KKR at least once, definitely in Chennai, and once in Calcutta. So he can be dangerous in the top 3. It's just that he's just not good enough to be consistent. But the day he gets going, he'll get you 30 or 40 runs very fast. So I'm saying Saha there, Williamson very stable, Manish Pandey stable after that. Suddenly that batting order looks decent. Very decent.
Manish Pandey too stable though. Manish Pandey too stable. They need Manish Pandey to go a bit mad because he's scoring at 115, 120. They actually left out Manish Pandey from the side. Can you imagine? In installment 1, remember that one? They actually left Manish Pandey out. But he's got to play that big role at 4. But much like Rajasthan, nothing happens at 5 or 6. That's why I think they might actually play holder in that spot. Play holder in that spot at 6. CPL he bats 4 or 5. They might play holder in that spot at 6. And then they've got Rashid's ready to bat at 7. I mean, he's ready to bat at 7.
I want to see him bat more. I want to see him
Rashid
bat
7.
There is a young player there who I'm very bullish about, which is Abhishek Sharma. Great talent. In fact, UV's been working with him as well, and that's always a good thing. That's good knowledge to pass on to a left-hander. You would want Priyam Garg, Abhishek Sharma. They've got
Abdul Samad
as well. These 3 kind of young players, they need them to now. They need 2 of them, or at least one of them, to step up and say, we're good to go with the big boys.
The reason they picked the team that they did was they thought Kedar Jadhav and Vijay Shankar will play that role. Now, Kedar Jadhav, Vijay Shankar are playing that role at 5 and 6. Suddenly, this team looks fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
Vijay Shankar 5, Kedar Jadhav 6, or the other way around. You can get an over from Kedar Jadhav, you can get 2 from Vijay Shankar, but that's all happening in the top 6. Then suddenly this team looks different. But Vijay Shankar, Kedar Jadhav not delivered for them. In fact, Kedar Jadhav had a poor season with Chennai as well. So if he comes here and delivers, they can play Kedar Jadhav at that number and tell the young kids, look, really, we gave you 2-3 years. I mean, they could turn down and say like Abhishek Sharma, my pure career mein maine 50 ball nahi khele ab tak, or 50-60 ball nahi khele ab tak, or whatever. Yeah. But they have that hole in the middle. You're absolutely right, Gaurav. They've got that hole in the middle at 5 and 6 and 7. And now, increasingly, their biggest strength has always been Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Sandeep Sharma, Khalil Ahmed, then Natarajan, Siddharth Kaul. That has disappointed for them. I think that train is just leaving the platform, that train. If they can hang on to it for another 7 games, but that train is leaving, that's where their problem is with the ball.
Yeah, because Rashid can't just do it all alone. Luckily, he's got Bhuvi with him now. So Bhuvi really has to shoulder that as well.
And Natarajan has to come back.
So that's what they need. I mean, their bowling. It's always it's bowling that won them that tournament that they won. Yes, they scored 210 in the finals, but it was their bowling that consistently said, all right, the batting's given us 130, doesn't matter, we'll defend it. 120 in Bombay, we'll defend that, right? So they did that. And that has fallen apart for them. So it's literally like you've got, kind of Kane Williamson doing the one-man show at the top and Rashid Khan doing the one-man show at the bottom. And it's just the 2 of them. So they have the same problem that kind of Bangalore did, where it's just 2 players who are standing up and being counted. And they've got enough pedigree around for more to now say, all right, we'll push this bus with you.
Yeah, and I think the pitches will suit them. My sense is, one of Thampi or Siddharth Kaul, who I rate very highly, will step up and do something for them. If Bhuvi can give them a bit more and Natarajan comes back, already we are looking at a much improved side. Remember, Natarajan, I mean, they missed a complete tournament. So them coming back, Bhuvi is very vital for them. And I think he's just beginning to show that he's got it. He's back. And Bhuvi is, again, one of those guys who's very, when he's fit, he's a very, very different proposition. And I think for the first time, I was speaking to him a few days back, he feels fully fit. And I think that's very important to their team.
Excellent. Well, okay. So just look at the points table once again, because we've discussed all 8 teams. The question I will ask Joy and Harsha and ask all our viewers as well. And you can send us tweets with hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Is this the top 4 as you're going to see it when the second installment finishes? That's right. The first installment is done. Second installment starts Sunday with the league stage. Are you going to see these 4 on the top, or can one from the lower half of the table challenge the people on top? Gentlemen, is this your top 4?
I think this is, in my opinion, and I hope I'm terribly wrong, I think this year is the year of the haves and the have-nots, and the haves are all there in the top 4. For any of the bottom 4 to make it would be, at this stage, for me, a major surprise. Would be a major surprise. Rajasthan, Punjab, Kolkata, Hyderabad all have huge holes to fill. And if any of them manage to overcome those holes and reach there, I'd be hats off to them. I think the top 4 look much stronger than the bottom 4 at this stage for me.
But the question that begs itself is, why do you desperately want it to change? Why?
Because change is good. Change is good.
Why?
Life is all about change.
I am not sure. I am thinking there is something else over there. But I fear so. Look, if
So
one
do you
of
think
these
this is your
4 lose a game early, then they're gone. I mean, there's 29 games left. You don't want, or there's 25 whatever games. You don't want the top 4 to speed away from the others very quickly. But for that to happen, a Rajasthan or a Punjab have to win 2 games very quickly.
So here's the thing. Midway in the tournament, traditionally, every year, we look at the points table like that. We always say, for running away, but somehow it always goes to, the last game or the last couple of games. I normally say last weekend, but this time it's not. The playoffs are, it's not, the league doesn't finish on a weekend, right? So, but it's going to go down to the final few games, and you want it to go down to that. And we've been kind of gagging for this tournament to happen. So we would really want that to happen. Will it happen? Well, the end ka to pata nahi. Let's see the beginning of the second installment. Is going to begin with the big one, the biggest of them all, perhaps. It's Chennai v Mumbai. The 2 teams that have actually between them won 8 trophies out of the, 13 that have been up for grabs so far. They've won the 8 between them. This is going to be in Dubai, halfway mark of the tournament, because there's 60 games.
Didn't they play the last game?
No,
Delhi and Punjab. The second last?
Delhi and Punjab played the last game. Delhi Punjab played the last game.
Around that, yeah. Because that Pollard innings is still so fresh. I mean, the one thing, there is a recency factor. So you remember that Pollard innings. But there's so many things. I had forgotten Jadeja hit 37 runs in an over. I'd forgotten PRITHVI Shaw hit 6 fours in the first over of a game. There's so many things you don't remember because they come thick and fast. And by the way, it's 43 degrees. It's 43 degrees. And there's some 2 o'clock games.
Ooh, it's pretty nice here, though. Joy, I don't know what the temperature is in your rooms, but 21 here seems all right. Yours
19 and good. 19 and going strong.
We wish you all the best, Harsha. Please keep hydrated. Wear some sunscreen. Keep hydrated. Wear some sunscreen.
Okay. I don't have to go and play at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, just don't pre-game in an afternoon game. Don't do a walkabout. All right, just see the pitch and the ground from the commentary box. I think it's fine. Go from air-conditioned bubble to air-conditioned bubble.
I'm starting a little petition to have Aaron Wilkins do the toss for the 2 o'clock game and then measure the shade when he comes back in. Is it pink? Is it red? Is it crimson?
Poor Welshman. Poor Welshman. He's it's going to be it's not going to be pleasant for him.
Down the end of the corridor is a guy who's just signed up to become coach of Pakistan.
Oh, Haydos is with you as well.
It was right down the end. I mean, I can't get out of my room for another 4 days, but if I do and turn left, there he is, coach of Pakistan. It's an interesting time to be coach of Pakistan after what happened to them.
Well, I just hope that you guys can get out to a barbecue with him really soon, because I mean, he's just a mean cook and he makes very good pizzas, Harsha. You can get him to whip you up a nice margarita, a nice vegetarian pizza. He'll do it for you. I'll text him. It's my friend. He'll do it for me. He'll make you a little pizza with I don't know what do you put on a pizza which is vegetarian? Potatoes, carrot, I don't know, something.
Olives, green and black, button mushrooms, peppers. Babu, too much कर रहे हैं?
ये too much कर रहे हैं आप. कद्दू, खीरा, करेला, कुछ भी डाल सकते हैं pizza में. ऐसी क्या बात हो गई? All right, so let's talk about this big game. Of course, there's Chennai and Mumbai who are playing the first game. Mumbai may be in number 4 position, but don't worry about that too much. But Chennai, let's have a look at their squads once again and see if what we're going to see, perhaps, with the first game that's happening in Dubai, which is on Sunday. That's the first game that's going to happen. It's going to be game 30, actually. Is there anybody who is unavailable? Sam Curran is unavailable for them, but you have
I see Robin,
older version Dwayne Bravo.
I see Robin playing definitely, because they'll need to have an openers there somewhere. So probably Robin will
Faf's
open.
not going to be there. Yeah, Faf's not there for the first game. Sam Curran's not there for the first game. So you open, let's say you open with Rituraj Gaikwad and Robin. Then at 3, you are playing Moeen Ali. Don't want to mess with that. 4 is Raina. 5, Jadeja. So you've got 3 left-handers coming in back to back. And at 6, then you're playing. I can play anybody.
Where's Raidu? Where's Raidu?
Dhoni.
Then Raidu.
Dhoni.
Raidu,
no, Raidu came back. Or they might open with Raidu. You never know with
Chennai. They can open with Raidu. Yeah, they can open with Raidu. Absolutely. Actually, I think it's more likely they'll open with Raidu, given the fact that
Sorry, we didn't discuss him. They've got Hazelwood coming back in, right? That's important for them. They will want to play Hazelwood.
It's interesting.
Hazelwood or Lungi.
Yeah.
All right. So they're playing their foreigners then. Moeen's a shoe-in for sure. Then you're playing Josh Hazelwood. They've actually got plenty of choice, right?
Dwayne Bravo.
They can play Bravo. They can even play. Well, they can play Lungi. They can play Santa. They can even go with 3
done really well
actually.
for them. I'll tell you who did really well for them in installment 1 in the couple of games he played was Imran Tahir.
Yeah.
Who's very miffed that South Africa didn't pick him.
But again, point to prove.
He's too old to play the veterans. He's too old to play the veterans. But
so the funniest thing is, one day I went and looked up the number of teams Imran Tahir had played for, and it was 28 first-class teams and counting. After 28, I gave up. I said, and that was 3 years back. I don't know how many more teams he's played for since then.
I just hope he's packed the right jersey and come to the tournament, right? I mean, 28.
But we shouldn't even try. We shouldn't even try to do this exercise because you never know who Dhoni is going to take on the field anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Let's just forget about it. Let's go to the consistent team because they pull out fewer surprises out of the hat because they're such a settled team. And why would you not be?
Yeah.
Defending champions twice over. Mumbai, of course, have gone.
That 11 is
winners
fixed.
In 19 and in 20. Yeah, that's set.
That 11 is fixed. Yeah, that 11 is fixed. Unless there's an injury or something, that 11 is fixed. They will open with Quinton and Rohit, Ishan and Sky to a 3 and 4, depending on which way they want to
5,
go.
6, 7 is
Pandya, Pollard. They play Milne, Bolt, Chahal, Bumrah.
There you go. That's your 11. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, I can't say anything. I mean, basically, it's for the only shadow of doubt you'll have is it's Milne versus another fast bowler, whether it's Coulter-Nile or anyone else. That's it. I don't see. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I can't see any change. No way this is going to change. And Milne is definitely the hot favorite to play, given his current form.
Yeah. All right. So that's the game that's going to happen on Sunday. We're going to kick things off with that. Harsha, are you going to be at the ground or are you going to be here with us? You're going to be
knocking on
chilling
whose door? Someone's knocking on someone's door. No, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here because I don't get out of my bubble until 21st. So you guys can't escape me for a while. I'm stuck here. This is my only outlet to the world.
Have you? That is excellent. We control you now. So yeah, we're gonna see you on Sunday evening at 6:50 p.m. in English and in Hindi. We're gonna have 2 shows. that are going to be running at the same time, so you can watch it here in English. या आप हमें हिंदी में भी देख सकते हैं. हिंदी का लुत्फ उठाना चाहें तो हिंदी में देखिए. You want to enjoy it in English, watch it in English. We are there everywhere. हम हर जगह मौजूद हैं. हमारे आदमी चारों तरफ घेरे हुए हैं. All right, of course. My 11 circle.
वो प्रोड्यूसर है अभी बगल में.
बैठा नीचे सर. बैठा अभी हम taking it easy on him. उसको डंडा भरना शुरू होगा 30th मैच के बाद. But of course, my 11 circle are our sponsors here again, our partners here again, and you can make your team on my11circle.com. Go and download the app. After that, choose the game that is being played on the day, and then of course mix and match and create your 11. And you can win up till 5 crores. If Dada's telling you, it is going to be done. So yes, that's your team on my 11 circle. That's all from us now. This was the preview, our little revision before the test begins. I hope you remember now. सब याद आ गया कि क्या हुआ था पहले installment में and how it is all poised and set up for the second installment. Very excited. This is the greatest carnival of cricket in the world. So super excited to be with you through this entire thing. We're going to be with you on Cricbuzz Live, as I said, in English and in Hindi for every game right up till the final on the 14th of October. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
And Joy, there's a off.
Joy did keep his phone off. Yes, he's not been watching the show while he's been on it. Harsha, this little packet dropped outside your door. It's your dinner. So, yeah.
in a brown paper bag. Hang on. I wish I could show you these brown paper bags they leave around. But if I stood up anymore, you'd see the color of shorts I'm wearing.
I'm not afraid to show people the color of my shorts. They're navy blue. I can show people. I have no problem.
No,
Don't.
Family show, guys. Family show. Family.
It's since when did knees become like 18 and plus? Knees are fine.
We are not in Victorian England, I say, old chap.
I say, old chap.
But why was Joy like this? Were you pulling up your shorts?
No, I was not pulling up my shorts. I was just thinking, in Victorian England, at one time, they used to have tables had trouser legs on them because, naked legs of tables used to look very raw. So they used to put trouser legs, cloth around tables, legs of tables. I'm not joking. It used to happen.
Why do you know
believe
this?
me? Why
because, do you know this?
Because it's so perfectly useless. That's why. What else?
Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partners, My 11 Circle. We're going to have that all through the tournament. In the tournament, I don't know what's going on. Naked tables. I just don't know where we've gone now. Right? I don't understand. But just remember, if the legs of your tables are naked, then you must ensure that the tables are never turned. That's the piece of advice that I will leave you with. All right, that's it. Yeah, things have gone to rubbish as usual. This happens. We're only good for 90 minutes. After that, you have to return us to the shop. You have to plug us back in again. We're only good for 90. We're at 93 now. It's a good night from us. And if you're in some part of America, it's good morning. Hope you have a great day. Big thank you once again to Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Goodbye. See you day after.